Welcome inside our New York studios. Brent Stover alongside Kevin Carter and Cardale Jones. Wrigley Field, one of the best places ever to watch a baseball game, turned into a football stadium on this day in the Big Ten. The friendly confines indeed. Northwestern hosting 18th-ranked Michigan and Bryce Underwood. It's Underwood calling his own number. And he's able to fake out the defense, get that touchdown there. Michigan up 14-6 onto the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Preston Stone over the middle to Hunter Welsing to put the Wildcats at the 1-yard line. Stone to run it in one play later, putting Northwestern up. Next possession for Michigan. Underwood's pass is picked off by Braden Turner. 5 Michigan turnovers on the day. Takes it all the way to the Wolverines 6-yard line. Very next play, Caleb Komolafe rumbles his way into the end zone. They would fail on the 2-point conversion. Northwestern with a 1-point lead.
Under 2 to go. Michigan driving here in Underwood. He finds Andrew Marsh for the completion. Marsh, 189 receiving yards on the day, by far his most productive day of the season. Then Underwood looking for some room to scramble, and he gets up with the 9-yard gain, and then for the win, Nevada, he puts it right up through the uprights as time expires, and Michigan wins this one on a walk-off field goal, 24-22.
Perfect day in the Windy City for football. And you're right, the Wolverines escape 8-2, 6-1 of the Big Ten. So still everything in front of them for Michigan with 2 to play. Games against Maryland and, of course, the rivalry matchup against Ohio State. Underwood, the 2 interceptions. And he's coming off back-to-back pretty shaky performances. But he gets the win on 21 of 32 for 280. You mentioned Jordan Marshall, 19 for 142. And Andrew Marsh, 12 receptions, 189. Preston Stone in the loss is 13 of 27. Kevin, what was your biggest takeaway from Michigan escaping with a 2-point victory?
Sort of a complex way that we look at the Michigan Wolverines right now. Had not been for the loss earlier in the season to a very good Oklahoma team, we'd be talking about a 1 loss to USC Big Ten team right now. And right now, no one's talking about Michigan. Pretty much everyone, Bryce Underwood, they put him to rest. They go on the road today, have an ugly win versus a 1-9 team in Northwestern. 5 turnovers. I mean, just an ugly day. But isn't that what we've been saying about good teams, right? Good teams finding a way to win at this time of the year when everything can go wrong for you. Look, 245 yards, total yards for Northwestern today is how they won this game. 260 rushing yards by Michigan is how they won this game today. Jordan Marshall was the reason why they won this game, because Bryce Underwood had a tough day. 2 interceptions in this one, but Jordan Marshall held it down along with the defense. Consistent on the ground, pounding the football, 19 carries, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is what gave them the advantage in this matchup today. They won time of possession by more than 5 minutes, and the defense and the run game is the reason that we're talking about Michigan only having 1 loss in the Big Ten and having everything in front of them like Ohio State.
You talk about a guy like Jordan Marshall. I can name a team that is missing his presence right now down south. But you look at Michigan, I have no problem with the way they're winning games right now and the evolution and the development of Bryce Underwood, going through all these growing pains as a young quarterback, because we all know the talent is there. This is a guy I'm personally excited for his future, because when they're able to have an opportunity to put some real weapons around him and some guys who really can take the top off the defense, it's going to be watch out for everyone in the Big Ten. But you look at the way they've been playing games. I'm looking at Michigan right now as the Tennessee of last year's college football playoffs. Everyone is kind of writing them off. Everyone's talking about Ohio State. Everyone's talking about Oregon and potentially a USC team who potentially run the table, in Indiana in the Big Ten that's going to go and be represented in the college football playoffs of the top 12 teams. Well, we're going to look up and say, you know what, hold on. Michigan has an opportunity to still play in the conference championship game.
Right.
Their next 2 weeks, Maryland, Ohio State. At Maryland, and they got Ohio State at home, a huge one, a game that they kind of been winning the last couple of years. It seems like they have the formula to beat this Ohio State team. We know how high-powered they is on offense, but Michigan just find a way on the defensive side of the ball to play their type of game. They can be a team that easily sneak into the college football playoffs, if not the conference championship game.
That's why I mentioned that everything appears to still be in front of them. There's a big separation after the top 5 in the Big Ten right now. You got Indiana and Ohio State, both with a 0 in that loss column. Then you have 3 teams all at 6-1 in the Big Ten. Those would be USC, Oregon, and Michigan. This thing is going to be really interesting over the final couple of weeks, but everything is right there for the Wolverines, despite the fact that this offense at times can be shaky, especially in the passing game. And we've seen this in years past, even when they've had really, really good teams.
Yeah, and you talk about that 6-1 with 3 other teams in the Big Ten, but look at here. 2 of those teams have to play each other here in about 2 weeks, so potentially one of those guys are going to cancel out. If you're talking about 3 potential Big Ten teams going into the college football playoff, 4 potential Big Ten teams going into the college football playoffs, I would have to give Michigan that nod over a team, even if they lose to Ohio State. They will have 2 losses, and potentially one of those losses coming to a potentially conference championship winning team in that Big Ten conference. But you talk about the lack of success on the offensive side of the ball, throwing the ball. It doesn't matter. Michigan hasn't, since the beginning of the time, hasn't been known for the offense is going to light you up and taking too many shots downfield. When you got a guy who can consistently run the ball and average over 100 yards a game, I think he has 600-yard games this season already, and play great defense, you'll need to run the ball.
You know, it may be a sample size, and it may be timing, and it may just be luck of the draw, right? But if you're Michigan, you miss Oregon this year. You don't play Indiana this year, right?
You avoided Penn State.
You avoided
thought they were going to be good. Yeah.
You know, so it's like you things have lined up, but you can only play who's on your schedule for the season. And look, to my co-analyst's point, I love the evolution of Bryce Underwood because they're not putting him in harm's way, allowing him to make a ton of mistakes in terms of progression and throwing and delivering the football. They're winning inside of what they can produce. And it says a lot about a quarterback who can play within the confines of what his team is able to put out there. To me, that's game control. To me, that's dynamically how your team is put together. And like you said, I mean, by luck of the draw, whatever you want to say, they're 8-1 this right now, okay? Right now, they're one of 6-1 teams in the Big Ten, and I think 10-2 might just get you into the college football playoff. But it matters who you play, when you play, how you play. And Michigan has made themselves relevant at this late hour of the season.
Do you still like Underwood throwing the ball? After the game, he said, just got a lot of things to work on, to watch back on film, to see what we did wrong. But overall, just coming back next week, being better, not making the same mistakes. He's saying all the right things. And listen, you were the dude. You won a national title at the quarterback at Ohio State. Like, you know the pressure on the shoulders, not just on the field, off the field, in the press conferences, and everything it takes to be a quarterback at this level.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, he started the game off 9 for 10 in the first quarter and a little over 100 yards and those two interceptions. I mean, yeah, it set you back a little bit when you're talking about stats, but the progression, like Kevin said, of his evolution of playing his position, he's not surrounded by abundance of talent when you talk about the receivers. Yeah, they can run the ball, they can control the game, and I think he's doing a really good job, and Coach Moore is doing a really good job of really not putting too much on his plate until it's time where you can see that he really is going to be the guy with other talent around him. So.
All right, Cardale Jones, Kevin Carter, I'm Brent Stover. Michigan still with only 1 loss now, 8-1 after the 2-point win at Wrigley Field.